guys are playing this hole. It's a 280-foot drop from tee to green, so almost the size of a football field downhill. That bunker in the middle of the fairway right there, that's what they're going to be trying to fly it just past. If they can get it past that bunker, which is pretty close to 400, huge downslope from there. Fairway narrows a little bit, but if they can get it onto that downslope, we may see something down there at 500 yards.
And look who's down there at the 500-yard line, Cheyenne Woods.
We've got quite the slope here. It's a 500-yard drive that we want to see, but really they just need to carry that hill. It's going to allow the ball to trickle down here, hopefully in the fairway, giving them a great shot onto the green and two.
All right, let's see if they can do it. This should be some fun here. So that's the drop. Trevor talked about the 280 feet, basically a football field, right? From tee to green. And that's really, it's at a 45-degree angle once you get past that bunker you're talking about.
I mean, the kind of hang time that Phil and Bryson are going to get on this tee shot, this is going to be sweet to watch.
All right, here we go.
Step on one.
Yeah, it's all I got. It's all I got.
Remember, don't have to be in the fairway.
I got right in. I got no tricks.
Yeah.
In the bunker?
Yeah. That was a great drive, though.
That's all I got. 51, I'm defeated, though.
Remember, Phil had a 380.
Come out of it or stay in it? I think it's in it. That sucks.
Had that 384-yard drive at the U.S. Open in the first round.
All right.
PGA Tour leader
I'm doing
in driving distance.
In the bunker.
only.
321.9 is his average driving distance on tour this year. #1 in the category.
Oh, you more than did it. That is amazing. Good heavens. Is that legal? Seriously. That's going to hit the downslope. Oh, man. Someone find that inspiring, and as I walk off, I just feel defeated. Great drive.
Thanks. I think.
Huh?
Hung up in the rough?
Shoot! Oh, it's got to be at the bottom of the hill, though, in the rough. It's not stopping. Are we doing a mulligan? Yeah, it's got to be way at the bottom. That was amazing.
What are we doing?
Oh, my goodness.
Phil, are we doing it? Hey, Phil.
Yeah.
We're doing a mulligan?
Can we use it? Can we use it? Can we use my mulligan if I use it? If I hit it?
I mean, it's 100,000 for charity. You cannot use it in a second.
No, but I will donate 100,000 to the half to Feeding America and half to my brother's keeper. And but I don't have any more in me. That's
Okay,
all I've got.
I'll do the same thing.
I can't hit any better.
I'm hitting one hard.
You hit that one?
Well, I could if I didn't hit the rough.
Just for funsies here.
Shoot.
Yeah, you want two so bad.
First one's good.
How about Phil? 100 grand there.
Anyway, good cause.
50,000 of that. 500,000 meals when you translate that out.
That'll be fun.
And Bryson as well. Nicely done, gents. Give it a good ride.
Ready? My center a little bit.
I'll see if these amateurs can give us a little show here. The quarterbacks.
Test it.
They are 100 yards farther forward here. So you have to do a little math. So I'm going 3 wood.
Hey. 4th of July fireworks continue tonight with WWE NXT Great American Bash. Thank you for tuning in and watching. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cooley and Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. That thumbs up button. Share hashtag WWE, hashtag WWE NXT. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always greatly appreciated as well. Currently and throughout the rest of the evening, we'll be watching side by side with the Great American Bash with the match in the world of golf, as they're in God's country in Big Sky, Montana, as Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady are facing off versus Bryson DeChambeau and Aaron Rodgers. The NBA Finals also kick off this evening as well with the Milwaukee Bucks and Phoenix Suns. We're going to get into NXT Great American Bash in less than 10 minutes. So sit back, relax, and just hold off for a second here. As once NXT begins, we'll turn that on. I actually have golf on 2 different TVs at the same time right now. But it'll be good to go, of course, on this one in front of me once NXT does in fact begin, as mentioned, in less than 10 minutes. They're actually going to take a final commercial break here before the top of the hour. It looks like 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 48 hours after July the 4th, 2021. Happy 245 to the United States of America. Freedom is not free. But nonetheless, since they're taking a commercial break right now, we're going to head on over to USA Network. Watch the conclusion to NCIS, which is a rerun from who knows when. But NXT bringing back Great American Bash once again this year. Last year it was a 2-night event, July the 1st and 8th. Now tonight, July the 6th, 2021, with NXT on Tuesdays. Tomorrow night, AEW hits the road for the first time in a year and a half, as they'll be in South Beach, Miami, Florida, for AEW Dynamite Road Rager. We'll have live reactions play live right here on YouTube of that as well, so be sure to tune back in this time tomorrow evening. So excited for a Great American Bash this evening. On paper, I don't think it's as good as last year's. Now, yes, as I just mentioned, last year's was a 2-week event. Tonight, only a 1-night thing, and then they'll have normal NXTs, as tonight's a TV takeover, if you will, a TV special. They'll be on the road with regular NXTs the next few Tuesdays until the next NXT takeover event, which will actually be SummerSlam weekend, August the 22nd, a Sunday, the night after SummerSlam, which is in Vegas this year at the new Allegiant Stadium, home of the Raiders. And SummerSlam is going to be on a Saturday night. So instead of NXT TakeOver being on a Saturday, I know they've gone back to Sundays here as of late, but instead of TakeOver being on a Saturday, it'll be on a Sunday, and then SummerSlam, a main roster pay-per-view, is going to be on a Saturday. So Saturday is just going to be flip-flopped. Saturday for SummerSlam TakeOver, Sunday night, but tonight, and then we'll get into the gist of course, looking ahead in the future on what could potentially come, what the business could do from now until then. However, tonight we have a singles match with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. That should be the main event. I would expect one of the 2 tag team championship matches to kick off the show. We'll also have a face-to-face with Karrion Kross and Johnny Gargano, as Gargano right now, Johnny Takeover as well, is basically the new number 1 contender for Kross's NXT Championship. And with Kross probably going to be getting called up to the main roster right after SummerSlam with the next WWE Draft. Gargano is probably going to once again become NXT champion at some point in time down the line. And then Ciampa is going to want Goldie back so they can go back to that feud potentially. We'll see. We got the lead-in for NXT right now as they preview all the matches and segments to come tonight. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, half of the Undisputed Era, facing off versus one another. Roderick Strong's back now as well, part of Diamond Mind. We'll see if he gets involved with that one way or another. I highly doubt it, as he's looking towards Kushida in the Cruiserweight Championship, it seems like. Bobby Fish, one way or another, though, could get involved. They just showed the entrance, which they got a pretty cool setup, it looks like, with the Statue of Liberty on each side of the runway down to the ring for NXT this evening. But yeah, Great American Bash returned last year for the first time in quite a while, almost a decade, and now NXT is bringing it back once again this year. As mentioned, AEW tomorrow night, they'll have the first ever, in quotes, Road Rager. No idea what that'll entail. I get they're hitting the road, but next week and then the following week and then even the week after that, so the next 3-4 weeks, the whole month of July on Wednesday nights, live reactions, play live right here on YouTube of AEW Dynamite, as next week and the week after they'll have a 2-night, 2-week Fyter Fest event, and then Fight for the Fallen to close out the month, and then Rampage will be beginning mid-August. Keep an eye out for more videos right here on the channel, as well as that red subscribe button, little notification bell next to it as well. Easiest way to stay up to date is on social media. Scroll down, links in the description below. Check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube. As the match is still going on, we're about an hour away from the NBA Finals tipping off, as mentioned, with the Bucks visiting the Suns for games 1 and 2. We'll see if Giannis goes tonight or not. But NXT Great American Bash about to kick off here in minutes on the USA Network, down in Orlando at the PC, the Capitol Wrestling Center now, if you will. As mentioned, we'll have a face-to-face with Cross and Gargano, as they really didn't announce until after NXT last week for tonight what Cross will be doing. And instead of a match with him facing off against Gargano, potentially a little too soon, have him hold the title now, a little over another month probably until he does drop it to Gargano, as mentioned, and they go back to Ciampa or Gargano in the way, you know, with Candice and Indy as your women's current tag team champions. We'll see if Dexter is going to put his name in the hat as well, but only time's going to tell, and that, you know, that's always, you know, the interesting part about pro wrestling. As much as we think we know what they're going to do, they always, you know, give us a complete 360 and swerve us. So next, red, white, and bruised for NXT. As mentioned, Cole and O'Reilly should be the main event, and then one of the two tag team championship matches, in my opinion at least, I would think are going to be kicking off the show. We'll also have the $1 Million Championship on the line with LA Knight, formerly known as Eli Drake, taking on Cameron Grimes, of course, formerly known as Trevor Lee. So we'll see if there's going to be any title changes by any means or not. We'll also have a championship celebration for Isaiah Swerve Scott, who just defeated Bronson Reed last week on NXT to become the new NXT North American champion. So a lot going on in the world of pro wrestling, especially right now with WWE NXT over the past almost month or so, coming off the heels of NXT TakeOver in Your House last month. Then we had Hell in a Cell, and now we're only a few shows away from the return of live fans, as the WWE Thunderdome will be no more after next Monday, even though SmackDown this Friday night and Raw next week have already been taped. So the Thunderdome basically right now is no more. It's non-existent. It's done with. And a week from Friday, they return to live fans down in Lone Star State of Texas, as that'll be Money in the Bank weekend, as Money in the Bank is a week from Sunday. Live reactions, play of that pay-per-view live right here on YouTube as well, so hopefully we'll tune back in. Also tonight, though, NXT TakeOver, Great American Bash. we have, as mentioned, those 2 NXT Tag Team Championship matches, 1 men's, 1 women's. This is a TakeOver TV special. It's Great American Bash for the 2nd consecutive year. Last year, Keith Lee defeated Adam Cole to become a dual champion, winning the NXT and NXT North American Championships, if you remember quite well, of course, before he dropped the title to Cross at TakeOver SummerSlam weekend. Cross was injured, had to relinquish the title. Keith Lee, of course, then went up to the main roster. Hasn't been seen in months, so who knows what's up with him. Only time's going to tell with what'll happen, in the near future. Hopefully he'll be returning, sometime soon. We'll see. I don't know. I don't even think he knows, to be honest with you. They've had him off TV for God knows how long. Hell, maybe he's the charging vignette that NXT's been teasing the past few weeks. I highly doubt it. If it is a man, it's not going to be Keith Lee. It's probably going to be a woman, though, so keep an eye out for that at some point in time tonight. But it'll be MSK taking on Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher in the men's tag team championship match. And then The Way with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. They'll face off versus Zoe Stark and Io Shirai for those women's tag team titles. Those are your 2 tag team championship matches, as mentioned. Also have, as what they're calling it, a championship cipher for Hit Row, as they'll celebrate Isaiah Swerve Scott's NXT North American Championship win over Bronson Reed last week, as mentioned. A face-to-face with Cross and Gargano, probably going to be in about an hour or so, I would think, at the 9 o'clock hour. We'll also have the $1 Million Championship with Knight and Grimes, and if Grimes does in fact lose, he must become LA Knight's Butler. Happy Miro Day, everyone. And NXT about to begin. Then, now, forever. WWE together with this opening video package as Cross is your NXT champion, Bobby Lashley, and the head of the table, Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, are still your WWE and Universal champions. So what match will in fact kick off the night? Well, first off, we're going to get a United States of America with Great American Bash twist to it, with Dusty Rhodes doing a voiceover. LA Knight, Cameron Grimes for the $1 Million Championship. Women's Tag Team Championship. The Way versus, it's Brittany Bitch. Oh wait, that's Jamie Lynn Spears. That's Zoe 101, Zoe Stark with Io Shirai. And then, as mentioned, MSK. They've held these titles for quite a while. I wouldn't be surprised they drop them to Ciampa and Gargano. Cole and O'Reilly, as Gargano's in a face-to-face with Cross. We got a grizzly bear near the course during the match with Mickelson and Brady and DeChambeau and Rogers, as he's just munching on some grass right on the tree line. So I'm sure they're aware, but they're about halfway through. They started almost closer to 6. But in the meantime, NXT, it's the Great American Bash. We got fans in the stands. They're still wearing masks for some reason. 3 championship matches, plus a damn good singles matchup. Championship celebration and a face-to-face. Along with probably finding out who the hell the charging vignette belongs to. And then Samoa Joe's going to enforce havoc on someone. Who or what that entails, we'll see. And it will be the men's tag team championship match kicking off the show. It'll be MSK taking on Ciampa and Thatcher. So that's not one of the 2 tag team championship matches is your opening contest. So they got the Statue of Liberty head on the left side of the entrance, and then the torch on the right side, and then your typical NXT backdrop for the entrance as well, right behind that. Barricade, your typical NXT barricade, that's what it's turned into. They got their ropes red, white, and blue, and then the ring posts are, along with the ring aprons, the American flag. So MSK formerly known, of course, as the Rascals, at least 2/3 of them. And yeah, they've held these titles for quite a while. So as mentioned, I wouldn't be shocked, surprised at all if they do drop these. And I mean, NXT's got a pretty damn good tag team division. The main roster, though, their tag team division, they've gotten it to a little bit better point, but it's still not that good. I mean, maybe MSK is going to be one of those surprising calls potentially. You know, they'd be like under the radar. No one sees it coming. But here come Ciampa and Thatcher. Shambo with a nice putt. Fist bump with Mickelson. It's Mickelson and Brady, black and white, taking on Shambo and Rogers, white and black, with their t-shirt colors. So this is the 4th ever match they had, and there's that bear again. It's going to go back into the woods. They get seen enough. They are in Grizz country. They're in Montana. Montana Grizzlies. They are in college football. The FCS level. So Jack Nicklaus built this course about a decade ago. But as mentioned, this is the 4th ever match. Everybody's mic'd up so you can hear word for word everything that's being said. The first was Tiger and Phil. Second was last Memorial Day. They had Phil and Brady taking on Tiger and Peyton. And then this past Black Friday, it was a basketball edition as Phil teamed up with Charles Barkley, to take on Stephon Curley and Peyton Manning. So Steph, as the Warriors are out of the playoffs, going to have to watch the NBA Finals tonight from home, as they lost to the Lakers in that play-in game almost 2 months ago now. Hard to believe. Time flies. So 4th ever match, coming off the heels. Chuck's not in this one. He said he wanted to go out on top. Of course, we all know he's there doing some commentary, but they replaced him once again with Tom Brady. But Brady couldn't do the one in the fall because it's football season. So Brady's been in May and July now for the match, but yeah, last year it was Lefty and Barkley, and yeah, Steph Curry and Peyton Manning. And of course Peyton's retired, so football season or not, he's playing golf. But it's been a pretty good event so far, I'd say. As I mentioned, they're about halfway through. And it's all for charity. So you got 2 pro golfers, 2 pro NFL quarterbacks. One's a 7-time Super Bowl champion. Rodgers has won a Super Bowl as well. Both have 3 MVPs to their name. So nice aerial shot of Big Sky, Montana. Wonder where John Dutton's at. But nonetheless, NXT, as there's a coyote now just roaming the course. It is getting a little bit later. They're, a couple hours behind the East Coast, of course, but these animals starting to come out before it gets too dark out. As we've seen a bear and now a coyote on the course. And now they're going to, I believe they just passed 9 if I'm mistaken. So yeah, as mentioned, they're about halfway through. But they'll play, it's supposed to be on till about 11 midnight tonight. But they got lights too in case it goes to playoff. Because I remember the first one, it got too dark in Vegas, and they didn't really have any lights, but they made do with what they had, and they finished up. But yeah, nonetheless, 3 big events going on right now. 2 actually, the third to commence in less than an hour now. But pregame is in fact on for the NBA Finals. So NXT Great American Bash, got the match in golf, and then we'll have the NBA Finals on as well. But yeah, once more, nonetheless, NXT Great American Bash is TV takeover special, if you will. It is MSK defending their NXT Tag Team titles against Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher, as they've been a tag team for quite a while now, but have both battled injuries in the meantime. And even as a tag team, they're with each other, but then 9 times out of 10, it still seems like they're against each other and very well could turn on each other at any point in time. Maybe that's tonight if they lose. I doubt it. I would like to see Ciampa, with the title once more. It's been quite a while, and MSK has mentioned they've held these titles for quite a while now too. So MSK and Ciampa and Thatcher for these NXT tag team titles. The crowd seems to be in it tonight, which is a good sign compared to TakeOver in Your House just a few weeks ago, as Ciampa's held up on the ropes with a nice shoulder tackle and then a drop kick from MSK. Red, white, and blue ropes, as mentioned. And nice uppercut in the corner. Tag made. MSK in full control right now. Another uppercut in the middle of the ring. Kick to the back of the head. But it's going to go on here. Okay, Ciampa might have just lost some spit. And then Thatcher going to take the bump ringside, pushing Ciampa out of the way, taking one for the team, and then a big clothesline ringside. And then Ciampa's going to hop up on the ring apron and pat himself on the back. And it seems to me they're going to take a commercial break. They do, in fact, fade to black. Aleister Black, we'll see what's up with him. Samoa Joe, as mentioned, has since returned. He is now the enforcer to William Regal, who's still the NXT General Manager. So Joe, at some point in time tonight, we'll see him, whether it's in the ring, ringside, on the ramp, backstage somewhere. We'll see him some point in time. Don't know when, within the next 2 hours, though. But fade to black, commercial break. No split screen commercial either, so we turn our attention to the match, as it seems like Lefty's going to tee off here. Phil Mickelson, who just won the U.S. Open, becoming the oldest to do so, is going to tee off and hits the shot right down the middle, but in the brush. So I don't know if they have to. I would assume so, because that's just what would happen. I don't know where the hole's at by any means. I really wasn't paying that close attention. So yeah, whoever hit before him, and then Mickelson as well, they take a split screen commercial, as they are tied, if I'm mistaken. Yeah. Okay. I believe both just hit into the brush. So the hole has to be over that little hill that. Or valley with hills next to it. See if they show a replay of it by any means. But personally, I don't really know a whole lot about golf. I don't really watch golf. I don't play golf other than putt-putt. So, I mean, I'll watch it every once in a while, but, it's not really my forte, if you will. I think both actually might have hit it a little too far because there is the green. Okay, the camera angle from what they were showing us seemed like it was way bigger brush than what they're in.
Selling a home is expensive and stressful. So we set out to create a better home selling
But
with a network of the most successful real estate agents in America.
they'll make their putts.
For as little as a 2% commission.
They'll finish strong. They'll end up having a good match here once again. It'll come down to the wire. Golf's golf. I mean, lowest score wins. It's match play though, which they'll all tee off on most holes, and then they'll flip-flop back and forth with taking shots. 2 versus 2, of course, with the golf and NFL tie-ins with this one. As it's been golf versus golf, golf and football, golf and basketball, now golf and football once more. Maybe baseball, maybe hockey at some point in time, maybe a few other sports too, we'll see. I'm sure they're trying to get a few other athletes to join, as it's, you know, been Peyton and Brady, and now Rodgers is in, but we'll see what happens with the match. Back to NXT with the Bash. Drop kick to the back of the neck. That had to hurt Ciampa. Of course, he's had his neck issues in the past. And Thatcher actually with a nice move ringside. Ref did not see, but then did catch it there at the end, and then Ciampa from behind with a knee as well before a pin and a kick out at 2. So match continues. Another tag made, Thatcher legal. Hashtag NXT GAB for NXT Great American Bash. So we saw that opening video package with, of course, the United States celebrating the 4th just the other day on Sunday. Last year they had it around the 4th, this year as well. When they would always have it, it would always be in the summer sometime. June, July. MSK with a nice moonsault there, cover 1, and a kick out by Thatcher. And Big Joseph, Bad News, Wade Barrett, and Beth Phoenix on the call ringside on commentary. Some chops to the chest from MSK to Thatcher. And we still don't really even know what MSK stands for, in NXT at least. I mean, I know I've said a few ideas on what I think it's meant to mean with, of course, previous wrestling terminology included, but another tag made, here comes Thatcher. I think they're good enough with just keeping it the way it is, and of course not revealing too much, but with the booking, if you will, or just the creative in pro wrestling, especially the WWE, and then name changes all the time. Well, I'm sure there's a reason, but what that reason is, who knows. But Dusty Rhodes got us kick-started with that nice voiceover earlier, and as Ciampa's now in full control. Back and forth tag team match, what you like to see. Hit me, and then some forearms back and forth in the middle of the ring. Crowd getting the chant on. Big boot. Off the ropes goes Ciampa, and then more spit. Of course, always looks like teeth. And then a tag made. Here comes Thatcher. And then Thatcher just, he didn't connect on all of it, but an uppercut as MSK moved out of the way. Thatcher uppercut to Ciampa, so a little friendly fire. Ooh, shit. Ciampa is still the legal man. And big power bomb. And a double knee to the back, cover 1, 2, kick out at 2.5. Match going to continue here. Tom Brady with a putt. And it's going to be a little right. Sure, Mickelson's giving him some advice. Rogers was telling him to shut the hell up earlier. What animal are we going to see next, though? We saw a bear, saw a coyote, maybe a deer, maybe even some elk. Thatcher's now legal. Tag made. Thatcher going to go for a headlock. Here comes last year's NFL MVP, current Green Bay Packer quarterback Aaron Rodgers. And not enough, and wide right. Wide left, excuse me. So now the golfers are kind of showing how it's done. However, meals are being donated regardless of the outcome. It's all for charity. MSK going for a double frog splash. Swanton bomb, tag made. That was a corkscrew. Cover 1, 2, and then Thatcher out of nowhere. Gonna pull MSK out of the ring. And save the matchup for the time being for themselves against MSK. Uppercut to MSK from Thatcher in front of the announce table as they're fighting ringside now. Back into the ring. Hashtag NXT GAB once more. Tag made. Here comes Thatcher. He's legal. Nice big slam. And then an ankle lock. And then Ciampa's going to go for a DDT off the middle rope, but then MSK pushes Ciampa into Thatcher to break up the DDT and, of course, the ankle lock in the middle of the ring as well. That was a good sequence. And then a quick schoolboy roll-up, cover 1, 2, 3. MSK retains their NXT Tag Team titles against Ciampa and Thatcher to kick off NXT Great American Bash this evening. Very, very good match. Finish, I thought, was the best part, as it should be. You always want to go home strong, so Thatcher saying it was 2. It's a quick roll up, 1, 2, 3, and still your NXT Tag Team Champions, MSK. They defeat Ciampa and Thatcher here to kick off NXT this evening. So what's next, or who's next for MSK? That's going to be the next question. Because it took them this long after they won the NXT Tag Team titles to get to this point to defend against Ciampa and Thatcher. So, I know there's tag teams out there, but honestly, who's going to be capable of going up against and potentially defeating? So, $1 Million Championship rematch from In Your House. It'll be LA Knight, Eli Drake against Cameron Grimes, Trevor Lee, and if Grimes loses, he has to become LA Knight's Butler. And now, SummerSlam, a little over a month away. It'll be Saturday night, August 21st, as mentioned earlier. And then the next NXT TakeOver will be the following night, the 22nd. Live reactions play at both shows live here on YouTube as well, so hopefully we tune back in then. But the schedule goes as follows for the upcoming weeks. Tonight, of course, thanks for tuning in and watching. Tomorrow night, AEW Dynamite with Road Rager. Next week, it'll be Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite. It'll be Fyter Fest, Night 1 of Fyter Fest. And then a week from Friday, July the 16th, WWE will return to live fans for the first time since March of 2020, minus, of course, the WrestleMania two-night event from this past April. Friday Night SmackDown in Houston. Live reactions, play live right here on YouTube. Then that Sunday is WWE Money in the Bank. They'll be in Fort Worth, Texas. Next night, 2 weeks from last night, as actually a month from yesterday, the NFL preseason begins with the Steelers and Cowboys in the Hall of Fame game. So football season right around the corner as well. But July the 16th, that's a Friday night SmackDown live reactions, play live right here on YouTube. That's Sunday, Money in the Bank. And then that Monday night, 2 weeks as mentioned, from just yesterday, last night, it'll be Monday Night Raw from the Big D, Dallas, Texas. That Wednesday then, the 21st, night 2 of Fyter Fest. And then I'll actually be attending a few events in the meantime as well. The 28th will be AEW Fight for the Fallen. And then we'll be on the road to SummerSlam and All Out. So, as mentioned, keep an eye out for videos right here on the channel. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. All you have to do is hit the red subscribe button, little notification bell next to it as well. And we'll get back to NXT Great American Bash here momentarily following this quick commercial break. The match also going on, though, right now. And then the NBA Finals will kick off in about a half hour or so. So, still to come on NXT this evening. We'll have the face-to-face with Cross and Gargano. We'll also have, as we just saw, the men's NXT Tag Team Championship matchup with MSK defeating and retaining against Ciampa and Thatcher. The women's tag team titles will also be on the line. Those will be Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell taking on Zoe Stark and Io Shirai. LA Knight and Cameron Grimes for the $1 million title. Championship Cypher, a celebration for Isaiah Swerve Scott, Adam Cole, and Kyle O'Reilly in singles competition, as well as, seems to me, yes, that in fact now will in fact be the main event of the evening. So NXT will get the overrun, I would assume, and till 5:10 after, maybe even quarter after 10 tonight, with everything going on. As I'm sure there's going to be complaints all with the ratings. They were down because the match was on and the NBA Finals kicked off. Well, so what? If you watch, you watch. If you don't, you don't. So it is what it is. I'm watching all three, of course, side by side. But, yeah, NXT about to return here in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And the charging vignette, what are we at? 81, 90%. 91% now. And by the end of the night, we'll know who the charger belongs to. Earlier today, Adam Cole arriving, walking with his suitcase out in the parking lot. There's Kyle O'Reilly, Cole Kyle, if you will, as well. Those are both earlier today, I would assume within the past few hours or so. They're very, very good friends. This, as Samoa Joe's music is playing, he's in the ring with William Regal. So I'm going to shut the hell up and let Regal and Joe talk. But this Cole O'Reilly feud, sort of what Owens and Zayn have, rekindled once again here as of late. Because best friends in real life, bitter enemies in the ring. They'll have a match tonight. NXT Great American Bash. And we're going to have the face-to-face next with Cross and Gargano. So that'll be 8:30. The NXT $1 million championship match will probably be at 9 o'clock. And then championship Cypher probably going to be right before the main event. We'll have the NXT women's championship match, I would assume, after this. Gargano making his way to the ring. Of the way, there's security ringside as well. 3 on each side of the entrance, left and right. But Regal's in the ring with the mic. There's Samoa Joe. He's the new enforcer to Regal in NXT. Here comes Karrion Kross. Scarlett, nowhere to be found. Maybe she, attacks Gargano from behind. I would assume there's going to be some type of announcement, because this is just a face-to-face and not a championship match tonight, on when they're going to fight for the title. Could be next week, could be in 2 weeks, could be at TakeOver next month. We'll see. So Joe's going to enforce. He is only to enforce, though, if provoked. So who or what will provoke Samoa Joe tonight? Gargano just told Cross he sucks. You suck chants now from the crowd. Gargano saying he's been living like a king in Cross's huge ass head. Cross is way above Gargano, but Gargano's saying he's not in his league. Gargano's your typical wrestler, okay? And when he has a match, in my opinion, it's the same old, same old. Cross, okay, it'll be Gargano and Cross for the title, but when? Gargano thinks Cross is afraid of him. Cross is that big guy. He's unstoppable. Yes, chants from the crowd. The way.
Hey, size isn't the only advantage I have over you. I also have stronger convictions. Even example. Every morning when I get up, same 3 things on my mind. Never lose the NXT Championship. One day, main event WrestleMania.
Cross wants to main event WrestleMania. And Cross wants to become WWE Champion. So is he teasing, of course, going to the main roster? Yes, we all know it's coming, just when.
Hey, I know you think you're going to do all these cool technical moves to me, and you really believe you're going to win this match? But guess what?
No.
This ain't some cartoon movie. It's not a comic book. This is real life.
It's real life.
Mr. Gargano, people like you...
It's David versus Goliath, if you ask me, with these two. Because Cross has been unstoppable, and Gargano's worked his way back to the top. Okay, so it would be next week. Cross and Gargano. We're going to have a special guest ref, and that's Samoa Joe. Gargano likes that. Cross doesn't. Joe chants. Samoa Joe going to be the special guest ref next week, as Karrion Kross will defend his NXT Championship against Johnny Gargano.
You mentioned my wife's pants. Considering you couldn't lace my wife's boots.
And now their wives getting involved. Of course, Candice LeRae and Scarlett. Why wait till next week? Cross going to attack, but Samoa Joe steps into the way. They're face to face once more. Young champ. And then music hits. That was a quick face to face. They got done what they wanted to get done. They accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, so that's all that matters. Now a $1 million championship video package going back to In Your House as a ladder match with Knight and Grimes, and LA Knight, of course, became the new $1 million champion, the first one in quite a while, and then he dropped some dead weight 48 hours after on that NXT after In Your House, the same night that Joe returned to the company to kick off the show that night, turning on Ted DiBiase. And now Eli Drake and Trevor Lee going to go at it once more in a rematch, as we're going to go to the moon. We're in Big Sky, Montana, Moonlight Basin for the match this evening, but up next it'll be Knight and Grimes for the $1 million championship. Not a ladder match as it was though last month, just a normal singles match. Maybe DiBiase returns and turns on Knight and costs him the win. And then Grimes becomes your $1 million champion in NXT. Because if Grimes loses, he has to become Knight's new butler. Which, that's just taking one out of AEW's playbook, because AEW just did that recently with Miro and Best Friends. But this match coming up next, so they'll go until what looks like, I don't know, probably top of the hour, maybe a little bit after, and then 2 more matches and a championship celebration, and then we'll be done for the night. And hope to God they give the main event with Cole and O'Reilly as much time as they did in that unsanctioned match we got with the 2 of them back TakeOver Stand and Deliver during WrestleMania season. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here as we move along in the evening. But been a pretty good night, just with the few segments we've had so far with NXT, the Great American Bash, as we're at a double commercial break with the Bash and the match, and then the NBA Finals about to kick off, as mentioned, in the desert as the Suns are hosting the Bucks. But Giannis is in fact back. That's breaking news as of 2 minutes ago. So Giannis will play tonight in Game 1 of the NBA Finals after he hyperextended his knee in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Hawks. But they didn't even need him for Game 5 or 6 to win those and win the series. So, hopeful for a good NBA Finals, unlike the Stanley Cup Final right now, as I get the Habs won Game 4 last night, avoided being swept, down 3-0. They won. It's now 3-1 Lightning, but Game 5 tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, just we have 3 things on with wrestling, golf, and basketball. Tomorrow night, it'll be wrestling and hockey, as of course the match won't be on tomorrow night. I'm sure you could watch it on replay, a rerun of it, in full length if you wish. I wouldn't want to by any means. I'm sure there'll be a video or 2 with, you know, the best bits of all the audio and all the good shots that they're all hitting here tonight. But nonetheless, and actually during this commercial break, Roads to the Top, along with Shaq Life returning on TNT. It'll be a Ms. and Mrs., if you will, it seems like, for Cody Rhodes and Brandy, as they just welcomed in their first child to the world recently. So congratulations to them, along with Moxley and Renee. So a lot going on, as mentioned. But we see a TNT commercial on USA. And what's on TNT Wednesday nights? That's right, AEW, with not a full-blown All Elite Wrestling commercial during NXT tonight, but I do believe that entailed the same that I just saw with what TNT's bringing to its network. Coming soon, of course, with their programming. Once more, nonetheless, these WWE superstars, they are very, very excited, it seems like, to get back out on the road. That's a COVID commercial. Kushida with a promo holding that NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Suddenly he was attacked. Diamond Mine, he's ready to fight though. So, in the title I defend, shines brighter. Kushida is ready. It seems like it'll be Kushida and Roderick Strong of Diamond Mine, as he's got his own new stable now. Potentially next week for the Cruiserweight title. So, just as they have 3 championship matches tonight, potentially 2 next week, as Cross will defend against Gargano and maybe Kushida and Roddy Strong. Second of 3 championship matches tonight coming up next. As earlier to kick off the show, we saw MSK defeat and retain over Ciampa and Thatcher. Next, though, it's Eli Drake, LA Knight, taking on Trevor Lee, Cameron Grimes for the $1 million title. And then also still to come, the Championship Cypher celebration for Swerve Scott, the women's tag team title matchup, along with Cole and O'Reilly in tonight's main event. So, once more, thank you for tuning in and watching. As always, I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Scroll down, check out the links in the description below, the thumbs up button, share hashtag WWE, hashtag WWE NXT, hashtag NXT GAB as well, for NXT Great American Bash. Chat questions and comments, super chats, super stickers. Always great appreciated. However, right now, we're going to the moon with NXT's version of Big Money Matt Hardy and Cameron Grimes. Of course, you go back to Trevor Lee's TNA days when Matt Hardy was broken. Really, last time TNA was relevant 5 years ago. $1 million title gets back into play, is brought back into play, I should say. Grimes, I would think, should win this tonight. They'll do something else with LA Knight, which I still can't get over. His name is LA Knight. You couldn't have come up with something better than that. And it's been since February since he debuted. So 5 months now. Come on. It's like as they talk to Wayne Gretzky, of all people who played for the LA Kings during the match, LA Knight sounds like a rejected sports team name in the city of Los Angeles. So bell rings, match underway. Grimes goes right after him. And speak of Big Money Matt Hardy, well, you got the Hardy family office in AEW. But AEW tomorrow night, so we'll save that discussion for then. Hashtag $1 million title now as well when you share it on social media. And once more, thank you for tuning in and watching. Grimes off top rope, nice crossbody cover on night 1, 2, and a kick out at 2.5. Yeah, I want to be shocked if DiBiase comes out and screws over Eli Drake to put the title on Grimes, since Knight turned on the $1 million man just after In Your House. It would add to the story, it would make sense. I mean, if they don't go that route, okay, so be it. But just a little bit of a heads up if that does in fact happen. Like I said, I really wouldn't be that shocked. But some things make sense, some things don't. It is what it is. When it's all said and done, we can sit here and bitch and complain about it all we want. But you suck, Chance. Oh, I suck. Fans talking to LA Knight. I'm sure he'll talk to him here in a minute or two, because maybe if he does in fact retain, he gets on the mic and cuts a promo, and then maybe somebody comes out or something. I don't know. We'll see. Nice big forearm off the ropes from actually on a reversal from Grimes to the moon chance now. But yeah, Grimes, a nice forearm right to the face, cover, and then a kick out. So Knight with a kick into the midsection of Grimes. Nice moonsault, another cover, another kick out. Headlock now. Grimes is championship material, but Wade Barrett's got some bad news for you, Big Justin. That was so bad. That's a total botch by Grimes. Working the nose and the face of LA Knight acting as if, hey, I got your nose, buddy. And then like some small, short, quick punches. That was so bad. And of course they had to have had the camera zoomed in the whole way when that was going on. Any other time, of course, you wouldn't notice. But kick out at 2 there after a power slam. And we're going to go pitcher to pitcher. So match going to continue here during this commercial break. But in the meantime, Mickelson and Brady looking to sink some more putts. As DeChambeau and Rogers look on. Training camp starts in a few weeks for the National Football League. As mentioned, a month from yesterday, August the 5th, NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame game. As last year was canceled with the Steelers and Cowboys, they're going to have it this year in Canton. As they'll celebrate 2 Hall of Fame classes, with actually 3, 2 from last year with the Centennial class, and then add in this year's as well. So a very, very big, huge celebration, if you will, taking place next month in the OHIO state in the city of Canton, with the Steelers and Cowboys playing in this year's Hall of Fame game. So as mentioned, football right around the corner. It's going to be headstrong from now until February for myself for live streams live right here on the channel. As mentioned recently, of course, yeah, didn't notice, first live stream for myself tonight in almost 2 months. Took some time off recently, but still put out a few videos. You can go check those out right here on the channel. Of course, there are the previous 2 before this live stream with Great American Bash this evening, as this split screen commercial does in fact continue. And seems to me LA Knight's in control right now of Cameron Grimes, has him in a headlock in the middle of the ring. And this is in fact for the $1 million title. So the $1 million championship being brought back. NXT's been bringing back a lot of old school wrestling shows, turning them into NXT TV specials, bringing back a lot of old school wrestling, whether they're gimmicks or props, however you want to put it. And of course, putting it to the test and seeing if it works. And you know, for the most part, 9 times out of 10, it seems like it has. So you know, they're doing their own thing. Raw's doing its own thing. SmackDown doing its own thing. AEW's doing its own thing with Dynamite. Rampage, though, debuting next month. So as mentioned, keep an eye out for videos right here on the channel. Whether, of course, those are, in fact, live reaction streams, live watch-alongs, as this is tonight, an audio-only recording, videos from an event that I'll attend. All you have to do is hit that red subscribe button, and links for social media are, in fact, in the description below. Scroll down, and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. But we'll get back to the action now with WWE NXT. It's not, in my opinion at least, because I know the Great American Bash as the Great American Bash. And then when they brought it back last year and turned it into NXT Great American Bash, well, okay. I get it. You know, it's 2020, it's 2021 now. But, like, the Great American Bash will always be the Great American Bash. So, I mean, you can call it NXT Great American Bash, you can call it Great American Bash, if you will. However you want to put it, you know, it's still the same show. It's the same graphics, the same color scheme. You know, it's representing the best country on earth. So, back from commercial, Knight and Grimes for the $1 million championship. As, let me talk to you, we're going to the moon. Grime off the ropes, missed on clothesline, and then who'd that hurt worse? They're both down and out. Thought they were going to go for a double clothesline, but more to the moon chance at titles ringside. As we see a replay, and okay, yeah, Knight went for a power slam, it looked like, and Grimes reversed it into his own slam. So they both went down. Now they're both back up on their feet. Very, very good move there to reset the middle of the match here following commercial break, and now some rights and lefts and some uppercuts back and forth with these two, and they know how to work together. That's for damn sure. They got some chemistry. As, of course, you got to go back to TNA. They fought off against one another quite a bit. So they have history. They have good chemistry. And, you know, that's what makes a good wrestling match. Grimes off the ropes again. Takedown. Another takedown on Knight. And then a DDT. Cover, 1, 2, and a kick out. This is not a pay-per-view for one, so it's not on the network. It's on TV. It's on USA Network. So technically it is on the network, but not the WWE Network on Peacock. So I take back what I just said. Technically they're both right. It's on TV. It's on the USA Network. On whatever cable provider you have. If you even have USA Network. Stunner, no. Quick roll up, 1, 2, and Knight kicks out. But yeah, we're both right in that regard. So, yeah, Great American Bash is a pay-per-view now. It's a TV special for NXT. It is on the network, but the USA Network, not the WWE Network, on Peacock now. That's still, you know, got some mixed reviews, but Knight with another cover off the top rope, cover 1, 2, and Grimes barely kicked out, but the ref made sure he didn't count 3. In the meantime, during the match, Brady and Rogers are playing catch. They're tossing a football back and forth with one another, playing catch right now on the sidewalk as they play golf. And now Knight just going to exit the ring, grab his $1 Million Championship, and walk off. Actually, he's going to roll back into the ring. There's some stuff over there, and then the ref notices he got the title. And then a quick roll-up from Grimes. 1, 2, and then bare ass exposed, but ref doesn't start counting until Knight reverses into his own roll-up. 1, 2, another kick out though. So, good sequence. Give him credit. And then Grimes from behind with a nice leg takedown. 1, 2, and Eli Drake, LA Knight kicks out. This match going to continue. 2 very, very good championship matches thus far, along with the face-to-face we've had in between. So, another championship match, along with a championship celebration, and a singles match in the main event will close out the show. Grimes trying to get the crowd involved. To the moon. And then Knight rolls out of the ring. That $1 Million title laying on the ground. They're going to work the ring apron now. Now maybe work the announce table as well. DDT ringside right on the title. And then the title gets pushed underneath the ring. Ref didn't see it because he's standing in the ring, but LA Knight knows exactly what he just did. And Grimes down and out, so might win by count out. And at that point, he'll retain his title. 8 count, 9, and then barely at 9.5 gets back in the ring. As LA Knight was celebrating in the corner, can't believe that Grimes just got back into the ring, but to the moon we go as Knight with a stunner, and a 1, a 2, and a 3. And LA Knight retains, defeats Cameron Grimes, and he is still your $1 million champion. So really, if there is going to be a title change tonight, it's going to be Zoe Stark and Io Shirai defeating The Way with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, and I don't see that happening. So, I mean, maybe something happens during the championship celebration with Hit Row and Isaiah Swerve Scott, and it turns into a match, and he loses it back to Bronson Reed. But with, you know, Cole and O'Reilly, a basic singles match, that's going to steal the show and be the best match of the night, no doubt about it. You know, O'Reilly won a few months ago. I would think O'Reilly's probably going to win again tonight, but I would like to see Adam Cole win. There's not going to be any title changes, long story short. Not unless they introduce something or add something in. So LA Knight's got some stuff to do. We go backstage now with Cal Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. And Raquel might defend this title next week, as Cross will defend against Gargano. We might see Kushida and Roderick Strong, and then that would put the trio to perfecta for the trifecta. Just as we have 3 championship matches tonight, maybe 3 next week, but it's not going to be a Great American Bash. That may be something else. I doubt it. Not on a week notice. It would just be a basic regular NXT show.
Well, guys, the NXT Women's Tag Team title match is coming up next.
And up next, it's going to be the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship matchup. Then the Hit Row celebration with Isaiah Swerve Scott as your new NXT North American champ. And then the main event of the evening with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. So, Samoa Joe, as mentioned, who or what was going to provoke him to enforce him being the enforcer to William Regal in NXT. Of course, he just since returned last month, but they had a very, very short and sweet face-to-face with Cross and Gargano, and that's where he got involved. However, they've been teasing Joe and Pete Dunne, Joe and Cross as well, Joe and a few others potentially too, with everyone on the roster. We'll see. Thing is, he's not even cleared to return. That's why they have him in this position. You know, rather than him going elsewhere, they brought him back to the company, just specifically to NXT rather than Raw or SmackDown, the main roster. And as I've said before, as long as Vince McMahon's alive, Samoa Joe's not going anywhere near Raw or SmackDown. He's going to be in NXT for the foreseeable future. But Joe's been, since he's returned, what I'm getting at, he's been on the show at least twice throughout the night. So we've already seen him once. I would assume we're going to see him at least once more, maybe more than that. Only time will tell. It'll have to be, I would assume, some backstage segment of some sorts. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Samoa Joe as the enforcer. Good to see him back. You know, it was shocking. Along with Strowman and Alistair and all the other big names that were released as well from the company over the past few months. But, you know, if only Samoa Joe eventually gets cleared to return to wrestle. You know, future, and at that point, you know, the competition and the programming is just going to get 10 times better. So, you know, if they clear him by the end of the year, I would think that's a safe bet right now. But, you know, it's still a long ways off those two. Because I bet you any money, as soon as Joe gets cleared to wrestle, and he does something in NXT, Vince is going to tell Triple H, hey, I want him back up to wrestle. Well, sorry, you had your chance, and you put him on commentary for God's sakes because you wouldn't clear him. So, you know, you win some, you lose some, and this one you're going to lose. And it would make sense, of course, and I'd be all for it, but it wouldn't make sense either because they had their chance and they blew it. Just as they've blown it with all the other names that, you know, they've dropped the ball on. It's absolutely ridiculous with how bad the booking is sometimes. So, and I'll leave it at that as we're going to come back to NXT now with The Way, Candice LeRae, Andy Hartwell defending against Zoe Stark and Io Shirai. Now the competitors in the breakout tournament, Trey Baxter, Carmelo Hayes. Baxter and Hayes both have recently come into the company. They've wrestled on NXT a few times as of late as well. So this same breakout tournament a few years ago, ACH Jordan Miles won before, of course, caused his hissy fit and decided to leave the company. Andrew Chase will be in this, along with Josh Briggs, and of course going to have to do some homework on who the hell these guys are, but it's a breakout tournament. Ikemen Jiro, I don't know if by any means he is in fact from New Japan Pro Wrestling or not, but Joe Gacy will also be in the NXT Breakout Tournament. That'll begin next week. So they'll have the championship matches next week, along with this. Odyssey Jones, 6'5", 405. Holy shit. Duke Hudson from Australia. And then now Parker's going to come out. They're going to give him an entrance. Maybe not. So only 8 NXT Breakout Tournament competitors, with this tournament beginning next week. So an 8-man tourney with probably Trey Baxter or Carmelo Hayes winning the thing. Okay, Jiro will take on Hudson. So it gives NXT something to do in the meantime until TakeOver. NXT Breakout Tournament, the first round. So yeah, you're going to have an 8-man tournament with just one match announced for next week. So they're going to maybe just one a week. And then the finals, probably at TakeOver. Adam Cole getting ready. Here comes Brittany's little sister in Zoe 101. Zoe Stark. There's Jamie Lynn Spears for you. No, I'm just kidding, of course. But it'll be Zoe Stark and Io Shirai teaming up to take on LeRae and Hartwell for the tag team titles in the women's division of WWE NXT.
And I'll tell you what, Zoe Stark
as we reset here an hour in, we've already seen one of the two NXT Tag Team Championship matches, the other about to begin right now. To kick off the show at 8, and now, right now, at 9. Earlier we saw MSK defeat Ciampa and Thatcher. Right now, it's Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell defending against Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. Frankie Monet also in this new NXT Women's Division, formerly known, of course, as Ty Valkyrie. Talk about spouses for Cross and Gargano with Scarlett and Candice. Well, Johnny Drip Drip with his wife now in NXT as well. Morrison's in the Money in the Bank ladder match here in a few weeks. But 3 championship matches in an hour on NXT, with a championship celebration to follow, and then the main event with Cole and O'Reilly as well. But bell rings, match underway. It's Io Shirai and Indy Hartwell. Also have a women's official as well. And this, as we also had a backstage segment with the women earlier, this is the only women's matchup tonight on the card. So look, potentially, if in fact they do, along with already having announced Cross and Gargano for next week, just with the 3 championship matches tonight, potentially 3 next week. But I mean, honestly, too, if they were smart about it, 1 next week, 1 the following week, 1 the week after that, and then have the next 3 weeks of NXT beginning next week with another 3 total, with 1 per week, championship matches on NXT TV. But 3 championship matches tonight, I get it's Great American Bash, but we'll see what they do. But Cross Gargano's next week, as I said earlier, maybe Kushida and Roderick Strong of Diamond Mine now, and then also Raquel Gonzalez against, if in fact Tegan Nox is the Charger, you know, if she isn't, okay, go a different route. But nice drop kick there off the top rope by Io, cover on Indy, kick out too. But we'll see what happens here. So NXT, along with the breakout tournament beginning next week, seems to be playing their cards right now. So double vertical suplex from Io and Zoe to Indy, and Zoe Stark is now legal. NXT's got a lot of new up-and-coming talent that's, of course, currently wrestling, and then this breakout tournament beginning. But then, you know, they still have their big name, not old school guys, but the guys have been around, and we'll see what happens with Finn Balor. As mentioned, we'll see what happens to Samoa Joe if he does get cleared to return at some point in time. Ciampa and Thatcher might break up finally, maybe not. They go to commercial break on NXT with the Bash. The Olympics begin in a few weeks as well. But the match coming down to the wire here. We got a few more holes to play, it looks like. But if Gargano beats Cross, as mentioned earlier, Ciampa's going to want Goldie back. Just a matter of when. Because he really hasn't had the opportunity, had the chance to regain that title. He hasn't. But with the booking, there's a lot of different options they could go with. No doubt about it. But You know, both Cross and Balor could get called up, and then really, along with Adam Cole maybe too, really all NXT has them at that point. I mean, Gargano, Ciampa, I mean, Kushida's there as Cruiserweight Champion, of course. I mean, maybe somebody else comes back down if they, include NXT in the draft. I doubt it, but who knows? We'll see. Or if they just do what Finn Balor, did. Do that with somebody. Okay, that'd be fine. Depends on who it is, of course. Who else would you have? Samoa Joe, then, of course. Once he, get cleared to wrestle, but who knows when that's going to be. Grimes and Knight, but Eli Drake's still your $1 million champion. So, I mean, not unless they're bringing a, whether it's a big name or not, or have somebody up and coming, whether that's Parker or not. I mean, that's behind the scenes, under wraps, nobody knows or is talking about right now, that he just blew everything out of the water. Well, alright, but they might be, well, I'll say this, because WWE is going to be in for a very rude awakening once fans return, with who they're trying to get over and who the fans are going to be rooting for versus not. So, because it always comes full circle, it always circles back around with booking, in my opinion, it does. Because, I mean, if it's not for the fans, and if you don't have good booking, you're not going to have a good show. And, well, look at Monday Night Raw the past 3 months. Honestly, it's sad to say, but Raw has sucked since WrestleMania, I thought. It has. There's been a few good, decent episodes. Last night wasn't anything special. Hell, NXT, when Joe returned that episode, right after In Your House, that was a better, in my opinion, at least a resident opinion. No comments below what yours are, but as we return from commercial break here, it's the way Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell defending their NXT Women's Tag Team Championships against Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. NXT might be lacking some male talent here in a few months, long story short. But the main roster is going to be in for a rude awakening with what they're going to try to accomplish versus what isn't going to get done because it's not going to work. But SmackDown's been the best show in the WWE. But NXT, that night Joe returned, that was better than the past 2 months of Raw combined. So what's that saying? Well, Vince, Bruce, Kevin, whoever the hell is running Rough Shop, and we all know who is and who gets the final say. But it's like, come on, man. Seriously? So, kick out there at 2, but in the meantime, as always, we're still sitting here watching it. We're still sitting here bitching and complaining about it, but in the end, whether we watch or not, or what the ratings are, I care less about the ratings, you know me. They're still going to do what they want. Is what it is, plain and simple. They rely on us fans. They, I wouldn't necessarily say enjoy the feedback, even though they do, but they don't care. They do what they want. They're a business. They're a company. They have to operate. Because if not, well, you're in the red and you're done for. But at the same time, WWE has been around for how long, so they must be doing something right. So I'll digress, but hashtag NXT GAB, and basically the co-main event match of the night, as we'll still have the championship celebration to come afterwards, along with probably finding out who the Charger belongs to. As we've got a double submission locked in with the Way, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, with crossfaces locked in on Io and Zoe. This match will wrap up. We'll have the championship cipher, and then Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. She tapped out chance. I think Zoe did tap out, but the ref wasn't paying any attention, because then there was a quick roll up, and then Indy came over to break it up, because if Candice would have got pinned, they would have lost the titles. Io going up top, but then a suplex off the middle rope from Candice. Purple hair on red hair, and then we got a blonde and a brunette in this match as well. So suplex, cover, break up, big boot, tag made, and Indy's legal against Io. Aaron Rodgers dodging questions about if he's going to be returning to the Green Bay Packers this fall. He does not know. Just as he gave us a simple 5-letter word back in 2014, RELAX, relax, we'll be all right. And he just gave us a 3-word phrase as his answer if he's going to be returning to the Green Bay Packers, since I don't know. So, training camp starts in a few weeks. We'll see what happens. I think he's going to be a Packer once again this fall. I do. Tag made. Indy legal once more. The lights have gone out in Orlando, and the charging thing has appeared. It's at 99%, now 100. Who the hell is it? Has to be Tegan Nox. It is, in fact, Tegan Nox. Tegan Nox has returned. She's still got a brace on her left knee. She's been out of action with an injury for quite a while. Candice doesn't know what to think. And Io with a drop kick to both Indy and Candice to send them ringside. Actually, tag made to Zoe. Indy still in the ring. So Zoe Stark and Indy Hartwell are legal. And Tegan Nox going to cost Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, as Zoe Stark pins Indy Hartwell, and Io Shirai and Zoe Stark are your new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions here tonight, Great American Bash. Tegan Nox is back. She's going to feud with Candice LeRae, it seems like, and then get back to potentially Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, I would hope. Tegan Nox chasing down Candice LeRae now ringside. Into the ring they go. So we do have a title change, and it is in fact in this Women's Tag Team Championship match. We'll see how long Io and Zoe have the titles for, though. But they are your new Women's Tag Champs. Alright. I can live with it. Fine by me. I mean, as they celebrate, the attention's not on them, though. It's on Tegan Nox returning and now feuding with Candice LeRae, as she was the mystery charger. As that started at 0, and it went to 11, 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, and on. It was at 91 earlier, so you include 71 and 81 as well. Yes, I do know how to count. Thank you very much. But 91, and now just 99% as the lights went out, and then 100, and then she appeared at the top of the entrance, and that's one fat cost Candice and Indy the matchup and the titles, as Zoe pinned Indy, and Io and Zoe are your new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. So Great American Bash, in my opinion, has been a very damn good show tonight. It has been. Now Kyle O'Reilly backstage warming up in the ring, getting ready for his main event match versus Adam Cole, baby. However, next it'll be Hit Row with their NXT North American Championship Cypher celebration for Isaiah Swerve Scott after he defeated Bronson Reed last week in the main event of WWE NXT to become your new NXT North American Champion. But they'll fade to black, hit another commercial break here. WWE is back on the road again, coming home, if you will. This summer, they'll be hitting cities all over the country. So, as mentioned, keep an eye out for videos right here on the channel, as I'll be attending a few events myself from a few different companies. Wink, wink. Keep an eye out for videos. But return of live fans a week from Friday. Friday Night SmackDown in Houston. They'll be in Fort Worth that Sunday for Money in the Bank. And then Dallas for Raw the next night for Monday Night Raw. And then on the road to SummerSlam in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. But tomorrow night down in South Beach, Miami, Florida for AEW Dynamite. Commercial break for Great American Bash. Aaron Rodgers with a nice tee shot into the woods though. And he turns around, gives a big smile. He knows a shit shot, but he did drive it pretty damn far, but left and into the trees. So the match also still going on, still daylight out in Montana. They're on mountain time, a few hours behind us. And then, as mentioned, the NBA Finals just kicked off, tipped off actually, if you will. Puck drop, tip off, kick off, depending on what sport, but it's all the same.
What does it mean to be made true? It means being made to stand the test of time.
And DeChambeau's drive went into the woods as well, so this hole seems to be tough, especially if Mickelson's going to be hitting into the woods here next. But knowing him, he'll land it right on the fairway. Yeah, they got a few more holes to go here. And a lefty. What do you know? Best shot of the three that have gone. Brady is next. But he's just gonna put his he's actually grabbing a different club. I thought he was gonna put his driver away and hop in his golf cart and go and not even tee off, but
This is more than basketball. This is where legends are made.
yeah, we got the Great American Bash, we got the match, and we got the NBA Finals. So yes, they just tipped off out west in the desert with the Suns hosting the Milwaukee Bucks, as Giannis Antetokounmpo is in fact active and playing this evening. Brady will tee off now. They are on hole 15, if I'm not mistaken. And he completely shanked that. That didn't even go 100 yards. He didn't even hit it straight. But that's what shank means, of course. It's to the side. So, yeah. They're going to take the best shot of the two, though. And Mickelson already, nailed it down the fairway, so. The match continues. The Open's in a few weeks across the pond. Next year will be big with 150 years of that. But the match, they need some retired baseball players along with hockey, as mentioned earlier. I mean, it's been football and basketball. Nick Foles and Brooks Koepka versus Bryson DeChambeau and Tom Brady. That's a good one. Tony Storm now with an interview backstage. So Tony might be getting a championship match against Raquel Gonzalez. The next match, if they do have one in the fall, it's not going to be with football players. It'll be with, who knows, maybe just because by the time fall rolls around, football season, basketball season will be on schedule, hockey season will be on schedule, starting, normally in October. This might turn into a summer thing, or spring, summer once the season's, for whatever sport gets over with, that they're going to have the players in. It might just go back to straight golf with Tiger and Phil. Moments ago, during the commercial break, there's Dexter Lumis picking up Indy Hartwell following her defeat. He's going to carry her around the ring, back up the ramp backstage, as of course they're in a romance storyline right now. But now Hit Row, and I don't get any of this. I don't. It's nothing special. There's that AJ Francis. He played in the NFL for a while. He hosted that Hidden Treasures thing for the WWE on A&E, following the biographies they had this past spring. But this seems to be more of a concert than a celebration. And how many yeahs are we going to get? Or, I don't get any of this Hit Row stuff. I don't. I'm sorry. But Swerve Scott's your new NXT North American champion, so I mean it has to speak for something. So this is going to turn into a rap battle here before too long, probably. Rick Ross in the house. How much you want to bet they're reading off the teleprompter, because what's her name keeps looking down? But at the same time, they are rapping this pretty damn good, so they know what they're doing. There might be a few words, hey, or time-wise on what they have to do to finish it off. Hit Row wants their crowns. Put them on notice. Yeah, I don't get any of this. I don't. I'm sorry. Did NXT just turn into like MTV or VH1 or one of those channels or something? Like, this isn't the BET Awards, is it? Like, I don't know what to say. I don't. How much does it cost? That's the real question. Probably $9.99, but the network's now on Peacock, so it's a little bit cheaper. You know, you get if you want ads, or it's still $9.99 if you don't want ads. It's not that bad. I mean, it isn't. They're doing a pretty damn good job wrapping all this, but this whole hit row. I don't even know what you want to call it. Tonight's segment, pretty word, if I can even say that. Don't want to offend anybody or upset anyone by any means, but just this faction, you know, of course, has been put together as of late. Really, up until Swerve Scott just won last week, didn't really know where it was going, but he wins, and now we get this tonight. So, I mean, there's still a long ways to go with this. I would assume Bronson Reed's going to come out. But, like, are we in the club tonight or what? Like, what's going on? And I know somebody, you know, guarantee it, like Joe Namath, that if she was teamed up with Bianca Belair, then he'd be like, what's his name off of South Park in his basement. So Swerve Scott now, as they're all in the ring now, actually. He's up on the top rope, up on the top turnbuckle there. And this, yeah, just turned into a concert. That's all it is. So, I mean, I can understand if they're trying to target some new fans or try to do something different, because honestly, have they ever, in the world of pro wrestling, I don't care the company, has there ever been an act or a faction like this that is like, you know, a hip-hop group? I don't think so. You know, I could be wrong, but just thinking off the top of my head, I don't think so. You know, so, I mean, this could turn into something, you know, big. But I don't know. It's just going to take some time to get used to, as anything else, you know, always is in pro wrestling. So, all right, that's all that was. So they celebrate Swerve Scott's win by singing and rapping to us for however long that was. And now next, we'll have the main event with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. As they'll, as mentioned earlier, I would assume give it some overrun, 5-10, maybe a quarter after. But NXT's been a very, very damn good show tonight, I've thought. Great American Bash has delivered. I know I said earlier I didn't think it was, at least on paper, I didn't think it was. Honestly, didn't know how it would turn out, you know, in real life here over the next, at that point in time, 2 hours, past 2 hours now. But, you know, up next, it'll be Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly in the main event of Great American Bash. On paper, I didn't think tonight was as good as the Bash last year, but credit, last year's Great American Bash was a 2-night, 2-week event with Keith Lee defeating Adam Cole to become NXT and NXT North American champion, I might add. So, like, it is what it is. Each show is going to be different, and plus that was a year ago, and a lot's changed in the past year. Especially a lot's changed, even though a lot has stayed the same in the past 16 months now. We're finally getting back to normal, and we can finally, a week from Friday, return to live events and be live in the stands. Live crowds with live fans, us fans that is, for these pro wrestling events. So, long time coming, but, you know, it's going to feel good to be back eventually. So, commercial break, main event, when we return with Adam Cole, who has new entrance music too, by the way, that really doesn't fit with him doing the boom and the Adam Cole baby, but, you know, there's no more Undisputed Era. Strong quit. Knew he would return at some point in time. Didn't think it'd be for this Diamond Mine thing, but that's what it's for. And no Diamond Mine tonight by any means, but we did have Kushida earlier, and, you know, he talked about being attacked. So as I said earlier, potentially as we had the 3 championship matches tonight, maybe another 3 next week, or if they'd want to do 1 next week, 1 the following week, 1 after that, okay, so be it, because you're going to have the NXT championship on the line next week with Cross and Gargano, and then Kushida and Strong at some point in time, and then Raquel Gonzalez, and potentially Toni Storm after Storm's promo earlier. So, yeah, NXT's been a good show, but not as good as last year's Bash, but probably on pace, on the same scale. As good, if not a little bit better, maybe. Probably not, though. I don't know. I mean, I'm just going back to In Your House. Crowd seems to be in it tonight. They do. I feel like, okay, AEW's had fans for quite a while. NXT's had fans for quite a while. There's just an urge for fans to get back. So, and that'll change the product, no doubt about it. As mentioned, Rude Awakening and all that. But, yeah, no more Undisputed Era. Strong's in Diamond Mine, and then Bobby Fish really hasn't been seen as of late, so as mentioned earlier, maybe he gets involved with one another in this because it's Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. And then say if Cole wins and moves on, or if he loses again to O'Reilly as he didn't stand and deliver, and then moves on, well, what's Kyle O'Reilly going to do? Well, they could, you know, continue to go back into the Undisputed Era seeds, the original Undisputed Era, I might add, and have O'Reilly and Fish feud. And then, you know, Strong goes back to the black and blue color scheme roots that he had before joining the Undisputed Era, because he really only joined the Undisputed Era when Fish got hurt back in 2018. And then they made it a 4-man group, and then they break him up, and now he's Diamond Mine with the 2 jobbers that are beside him. So, NXT UK, this will be on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I do believe, here in the States. So, NXT UK with, yes, that'll be on the WWE Network, on Peacock, as, 8 p.m. British Standard Time, 5 hours ahead of us. And speak of the devil, as mentioned earlier, we've seen it, Samoa Joe, at least twice each week since he returned. Well, here he is again. We've already seen him once, now twice, backstage with William Regal being interviewed. So, a lot going on in NXT right now. Cross and Gargano next week. The breakout tournament begins as well.
Things seem to be boiling over between Karrion Kross and Johnny Gargano. I wanted to get your take on that championship match.
Well, I would tend to agree with you, but I can assure you, as a enforcer, I don't seek to change the trajectory or the outcome of the match. And as long as I'm not provoked, well, everything should be okay.
As long as Samoa Joe is not provoked, everything should be okay. Well, we all know, okay, yeah, Joe's going to be a special guest referee next week as well. Forgot about that from earlier. Cross Gargano next week with Samoa Joe as a special guest ref. But as long as Joe's not provoked, nothing's going to happen. We all know that's not true. Breakout tournament begins next week. They announced 1 match for that earlier. Seems to me they're only going to be doing 1 match per week, and then, because it's only an 8-man tournament, and then have the finals at TakeOver next month. which I would assume next month, yeah, or next week, excuse me, they'll, or maybe even the week after that, give it a little bit of rest, announce when TakeOver is going to be, even though we all know when it will be, in fact. But they might have another TV special of some sorts at some point in time from now until then, just to, you know, keep things steady. But now here comes Cool Kyle O'Reilly, as O'Reilly and Cole are set to do battle in tonight's main event. And did they finish up the match already? Or are they doing something here during this upcoming hole? Oh, they're drawing what they have to shoot with. What they have to drive the ball. As Rogers pulls a 3-wood. Lefty. He didn't even show off what he drew. Brady's got the next to last card, and then DeChambeau gets final say. So 7-iron for Brady. All right, so the quarterback showed off what they drew, as Rogers will be a 3-wood and then a 7-iron for TB12, as they'll tee off with those respective club. Here comes Adam Cole, baby. And yeah, his new entrance music doesn't go with what he does in the ring. Or what he does during his entrance with the boom and the Adam Cole, baby. Boom. Adam Cole, baby. As one of these two is about to shock the system to close out the night. Bell rings, match underway. Hashtag Cole versus O'Reilly when you share on social media. Thank you once more for tuning in and watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to social media. Links in the description below. They lock up middle of the ring. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Cole in the green trunks. O'Reilly in the blue camouflage. This is Cole O'Reilly 2. They faced off to take over Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend. It was unsanctioned. Now tonight, main event of Great American Bash. Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole chants. So yeah, for a minute there, I thought they were done with the match. I'm thinking to myself, they got a ways to go here still. A few more holes, but no, they just drew what they had to tee off with. Which, of course, makes it challenging for the competitors for teeing off with whatever club they drew compared to what they would normally tee off with their driver, but Rogers growing his hair out, looking like Scott Stapp once more. And what do we have right there, Vic Joseph? We're going to have to rewind this because as they go to the ropes, Vic Joseph didn't make his cutoff. They went to commercial with him still speaking. Cole rolled out of the ring. Okay. We didn't miss anything. He just shut up, saying, don't miss anything. Surprise, this isn't a split screen. But the match just started, so I think the next commercial break will be right before 10 o'clock, and then they'll have the overrun. But just that this is the main event, and then just as they were going to commercial, he started talking again. So, I don't know, a little miscommunication, I guess. I would assume he knew they were going to commercial break, as he was trying to hurry up to get him with what he was trying to say, but he'll probably end up repeating it when they come back from this break anyway. So, commercial with Cole and O'Reilly taking place right now as it just began our main event of the evening. NXT Great American Bash, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. It's Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady versus Bryson DeChambeau and Aaron Rodgers in the match. And here in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, the Milwaukee Bucks are on the road, taking on the Phoenix Suns, as both teams have not won an NBA championship in almost 30 plus years. The Suns haven't won since the early 90s, and the Bucks haven't won since the late 70s. And that's a foul. It's a good call. Surprised they actually called that, because they don't call fouls in the NBA, so I don't watch. One of the reasons why I don't watch. But I will be watching these NBA Finals because it's a very, very good matchup. And, you know, LeBum's not playing it for the first time in how long. So, yeah. College basketball, March Madness, Stanley Cup playoffs better than the NBA playoffs. Football season begins next month, so as DeChambeau goes looking for his ball in the woods. I don't think you're going to find it, buddy. Just take a mulligan. Shark Week begins next week as well. Hurricane season is upon us, so yeah, a lot going on, but myself personally, football and wrestling, been watching baseball since April as well, so Olympics in a few weeks. Excited to return to live events here shortly as well. So Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly back from commercial break in tonight's Great American Bash main event. Armbar locked in. O'Reilly has it on Cole's left arm. And now an ankle lock, rope break on that blue bottom rope. Red, white, and blue from the top down. Great American Bash seems to be a new June, July stable for NXT. As mentioned earlier, that's what it normally was when it was a typical pay-per-view summertime. Around the 4th with the USA colors. So like I said earlier as well, NXT's been bringing back a lot of older stuff and putting it to the test, and it's been working out. So credit to them. I mean, really, the next TV special, I guess, they'll be having probably, because they'll have a TakeOver SummerSlam weekend. They'll probably have a TakeOver late September, early October. It'll be Halloween Havoc. So I know people were saying for them to have an actual Great American Bash takeover event because the 4th was on the Sunday just the other night. But, you know, TV special, they just had a takeover a couple weeks ago. You don't need to have a takeover, you know, all the time. But, I mean, they go, nice neck breaker there, ringside by Adam Cole to Kyle O'Reilly. You know, they have one, whether it be Royal Rumble season or shortly then after in February. So that's 1. Brown WrestleMania, that's 2. The In Your House was 3. So they'll average about 6 a year with, you know, 3 and 6 months. And then another, you know, takeover during SummerSlam. Another one during, you know, early to mid-fall. And then around Thanksgiving or early December. So your 6 takeovers throughout the year, and then, you know, your TV specials now as well. Trying to keep up, I guess, with AEW's TV specials with, you know, there are only 4 pay-per-views throughout the year with, of course, Revolution, Double or Nothing all out in full gear, and then Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen here in a few weeks, Blood and Guts a couple months ago now. You know, just to name a few. So Cole and O'Reilly going at it. This hole, everybody's hitting it too far, and they got to bounce it down, and then it just, the balls keep rolling down the hill, off the green, nowhere close to being able to putt it. Let's go, Kyle, Adam Cole chants. Crowd really into it. I saw recently, I guess with how bad the crowd was last month for In Your House, they're having a contest for these fans at 10 NXT events, NXT TV tapings at that in Orlando at the CWC. And whoever the loudest fan is going to win a prize of some sorts. Now, of course, that's just the easy way out, but hey, if that's what it takes, I guess so be it, you know? Doesn't really make that much of a difference, but, I mean, it does at the same time, I guess. It just depends on the situation. Cole and O'Reilly. Hashtag that. Cole versus O'Reilly, I should say. Some knees to the gut. Cole's trunks, too, by the way, I might add. The Bebe on his ass, it's the Money in the Bank font. So I know there's 2 more spots in that from the SmackDown side of things, as they'll have a couple more qualifiers this week that'll round out the field, but at some point in time, Adam Cole's going to be up on either Raw or SmackDown. So, you know, maybe Cole next year will be in that Money in the Bank ladder match, but not in a few weeks. Not a week from Sunday. Cover 1, 2, O'Reilly. Almost that close before Cole kicks out. Match can continue. So the crowd with some slow clap now. And then the boot misses. Double knee to the back of the neck. Nice backstabber there from Cole to Kyle. And a kick out at 2. I'm begging you, O'Reilly. They're best friends in real life. They are. And as mentioned earlier, you're a disappointment, says Adam Cole to KO, apostrophe R, and then O'Reilly gets up and attacks, but you got to have the history too. You got to have the real life to it every once in a while. You know, provoking, if you will. I doubt Samoa Joe's. Hell, there's a moose now during the match. We've seen a bear, a coyote, and now a moose. So a moose was the correct answer, and not Moose, who's in TNA by any means, but that was the correct answer on what the next animal was going to be. So a moose has appeared during the match. Now the split screen commercial for the main event as we hit 5 till, yeah, so they'll go till about 10 after. They'll get the overrun. Yeah, what I was saying, just with them having history, their friendship, their partnership then as a team, you put all that together, it just fuels. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a stellar match. And, you know, comparing with what I said earlier, too, this Cole O'Reilly feud is similar, in my opinion at least, to what Owens and Zayn did, 5-6 years ago, and are now once again rekindling, and Owens is in the Money in the Bank match, defeating Zayn last Friday Night on SmackDown in the Last Man Standing matchup. That was a qualifier, actually, to enter the Money in the Bank match a week from Sunday, as mentioned. So, hopefully tune in then for Money in the Bank, but also tomorrow night for AEW Dynamite, a week from Friday for SmackDown, then Money in the Bank, then Monday Night Raw. We'll have Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen as well, so just be sure to hit the red subscribe button if you haven't done so already. O'Reilly, along with Cole, it's down the middle right now. I mean, nobody's really in full control. I mean, both been going back and forth with one another, but it seems to me they're going to save it all for a big finish here and potentially close this feud out for good on a high note. So we'll get back here in a few minutes, I would say, from the split screen commercial, but it'll be interesting to see who does in fact win this, because go back to Stand and Deliver, as much as I want Cole to win then and as much as I want Cole to win now, it was best that O'Reilly won then, and it's probably going to be best that O'Reilly wins tonight as well, especially if Cole's going to be moving on to bigger and better things, and you know, O'Reilly's going to be staying put in NXT and potentially vie after the NXT Championship after Cross probably gets called up as well, and then Gargano's your NXT Champion as Johnny Gargano's turned into the NXT lifer. You know, he's not going to be moving anywhere because, you know, damn well he's not going to be able to cut it up on the main roster because he's going to get screwed because they're not going to know what to do with him because they don't know what to do with half the roster they have right now as it is. But, you know, when he was up there with Ciampa and Alistair and Ricochet were up there as well, go back, you know, a little over 2 years ago now, he lucked out because both Gargano and Ciampa got injured, and then they were brought back down to NXT, and they've been there ever since. So, I mean, Ciampa's in that same boat, but Ciampa, I think, would thrive up on, you know, Raw or SmackDown. But along with Cole and Cross, and I mean, hell, Cross might be the one to beat Reigns, if anything, but, you know, at the same point in time, who knows who's going to be on what brand, you know, at the end of August, because that's when the next WWE draft is, late August, early September. So, yeah, these next few months, and then as we hit September, it's going to be full go into football season. So from July until February, it's, you know, headstrong from now until Super Bowl. And then on to WrestleMania 38 next year. And O'Reilly working that knee in the ropes as they're working on the ring apron there for a second. Working that left knee that Cole has wrapped up Has it bandaged under his knee brace. I'm sure one of those knees will be exposed for the Panama City Playboy here at some point in time. A kick right to the kneecap. That had to hurt. Another kick to the knee from Cole to O'Reilly. O'Reilly got a reverse. Chop block to the back of the left knee now. As we are in fact back from commercial break. Knee to the face, a Kinshasa, if you will. Cover 1, 2, and a kick out at 2.5. This match going to continue, and yeah, we're going to get another probably 5, almost 10 minutes of this matchup. And once all said and done, going to be somewhat of a short and quick, very fast main event, if you ask me. And then we'll hit closing credits and be done for the night. But we'll see if we get a surprise or anything like that. But you know, it's Cole O'Reilly. And then suplex cover 1, 2. See a replay of that, I bet, probably. Cole almost broke his goddamn neck. They advertise for NXT next week already. Cross and Gargano for the NXT Championship. And Samoa Joe will be the special guest ref. So, unless provoked, he's not going to enforce. But we all know he'll end up enforcing one way or another. It just depends on how. Really didn't do a whole lot tonight. I mean, he, you know, face-to-face with Cross during the face-to-face with Cross and Gargano, and then, you know, the backstage interview with Regal as well. So, quick roll-up, 1, 2, kick out. Slow and steady wins the race for Samoa Joe, getting back to competing. Just a matter of when, so. We'll get there when we get there, of course. Figure 4 in on Kyle O'Reilly from Adam Cole. And O'Reilly's going to reverse it. No? Now he does, but then Cole rolls it through. So the figure 4 is still locked in. And why not have a figure 4 during the Great American Bash tonight? No, says Adam Cole. He taps, he loses. O'Reilly's got him in another ankle lock here. Rope break, grabbing that bottom rope once more. Yesterday was actually Adam Cole's birthday as well, so shout out to the Bebe and the DMD herself. This is awesome chants from the crowd now. And Cole reverses into the kick, and then a knee from O'Reilly, and then a big stomp and a right hand. All right, now we're getting down to it. Suplex coming, maybe, no? Another Pele from Adam Cole, and then a running knee from Kyle O'Reilly, as he actually hits the running knee, but then runs too fast and runs through the ropes, out of the ring. He's laying ringside, Cole in the ring. 2 count from the ref. This is an unsanctioned, you know, it's a typical regular legal match. You know, you do something that is illegal, you're going to get DQ'd, so. Oh, Cole ringside gonna, Jesus Christ. I don't know how the hell he hasn't hurt somebody doing that yet. Jesus. He did that off the apron ringside. Cover 1, 2, and then O'Reilly gets his foot up. So a rope break. This match will continue. Cole now going to expose that right knee brace. O'Reilly on his knees, and then KO apostrophe R tackles him. Cole gets out of it with a kick. Quick roll up, no. And then a super kick to the side of the head, off the ropes. O'Reilly does the Dean Ambrose, but from the bottom rope and then the clothesline. And then nice vertical suplex. More of a vertical DDT. And then a knee off the top rope. No, misses. Cole moves out of the way. Knee to the back of the head. And Adam Cole, 1, 2. Kick out at 2.5 by Kyle O'Reilly. That had to have been it. And of course, yeah, like you got to be kidding me. O'Reilly had to kick out of that. This match will once again continue. Cole going up top once more. And O'Reilly reverses, arm drag off the top rope. And a kick to the gut. Kick to the arm. And Cole's going to go for his finisher once more, but O'Reilly got his knee up and kicked, but here we go again. The sunrise hits, and Cole now off the ropes with the knee. And cover. 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole pins and defeats. 1, 2, 3. Clean in the middle of the ring. Kyle O'Reilly to close out NXT Great American Bash this evening. So, grudge match has to be TakeOver. They have to do this again, you would think, because Cole's not going to be coming up until after SummerSlam anyway, so for the most part, they'll probably be continuing this until mid-August. Give it another month, let the story, do its thing, drag it out some more, and you have Unsanctioned. You have another main event tonight during Great American Bash, just a normal one-on-one singles match. And then, yeah, they'll have the grudge match during the next TakeOver during SummerSlam weekend, I bet. As Adam Cole celebrates, Adam Cole, baby, as they hit closing credits to close out NXT Great American Bash this evening. And what a show it was. What a show it was. In the meantime, the match continues with Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady taking on Bryson DeChambeau and Aaron Rodgers. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we just hit halftime during Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We're going to check in on a score here. As, yes, the Suns at the half at home lead the Bucks by 8. 57-49. So 57-49 Suns over the Bucks at the half. So I thought they just went to halftime. Okay. So, yes. Halftime NBA Finals Game 1. The match will continue. They got a few more holes here, it seems like. I know I've been saying that, but this past, 45 minutes or so, they've been dragging it out, doing, whether they've been side bets or doing some more stuff for charity or whatever the case may be. Yeah, they'll be playing golf out in Big Sky, Montana here for a little bit longer, it seems like. But NXT Great American Bash just concluded thank you for tuning in and watching my live watch-along reactions live right here on YouTube. Support always greatly appreciated. However, tonight we kicked off the show with the men's NXT Tag Team Championship match. It was MSK and Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. MSK picking up the win, retaining. We then had the face-to-face with Cross and Gargano, as it was announced then next week for NXT. It'll be Karrion Kross defending his NXT Championship against Johnny Gargano, with Samoa Joe as your special guest referee. The $1 Million Championship then was next. LA Knight defeated and retained his title as well against Cameron Grimes. So now Cameron Grimes has to become LA Knight's new butler. Once again, happy Miro Day, everyone. Then after that, in the meantime, we had a few backstage interviews. However, next was the women's NXT Tag Team Championship matchup. It was Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell defending against Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. It was the return of Tegan Nox, though, that cost Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell the women's NXT Tag Team titles, as Io and Zoe are your new Tag Team champs. So Tegan Nox was the mystery charger. Seems to me now she'll be feuding with Candice LeRae. Moving ahead, as we'll move along with some more backstage segments, as we had an interview with Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, along with Toni Storm as well. Samoa Joe really wasn't, enforced or provoked to enforce any havoc tonight by any means, but he'll be the special guest ref now next week in Cross's and Gargano's NXT Championship matchup. And then the Hit Row Championship Cypher celebration for Isaiah Swerve Scott's NXT North American Championship win last week against Bronson Reed. That turned into a concert. Felt like we were in the club. Kushida also cut a promo with a video package, as he basically said, he'll defend his Cruiserweight title against... he's not afraid to pick a fight or have a match if Strong wants to pick a fight. Roderick Strong of Diamond Mine. If they want to go at it, bring it on. Potentially look for that to happen, shortly over the next few weeks, along with Raquel Gonzalez and Toni Storm, potentially for the NXT Women's Championship. So, a lot went down tonight during NXT Great American Bash. A very, very good show, I thought. I did once more full results here. We kicked off the night with MSK defeating and retaining their NXT Tag Team titles against Ciampa and Thatcher. The face-to-face then was next with Cross and Gargano. It was announced next week Cross will defend his NXT Championship against Gargano, with Samoa Joe as your special guest ref. The $1 Million Championship matchup followed with LA Knight defeating Cameron Grimes, with Grimes now becoming Knight's new butler. So for the third time, happy Miro Day, as they're just taking one out of AEW's playbook, like I said earlier, with Miro and Best Friends, with Trent and Chuck as, Miro's butlers when Miro was in his feud with Orange Cassidy. Before, and that was around the time, that was like Beach Break, that was, so we've seen about 4 or 5 different animals tonight during this match. We saw a moose and now some for this golf match. But nonetheless, NBA Finals Game 1 match continues. Bash just concluded, so results continue, and thank you once more for tuning in and watching. But yeah, this Butler thing that Grimes has to do now for Knight, since he lost the second time in a row, that's all NXT's doing, is taking one out of AEW's playbook, if you ask me. It's a copycat league. I get it happens all the time. It just, matter on if it, gets any attention or not, if, people actually notice. But, yeah. So, it is what it is. This is what they're going to do with it, so be it. I mean, it's like they couldn't have thought of something better or even more clever than, oh, he has to be my butler now. Like, come on. I don't know. It just, some shit irritates me. It is what it is. Grimes lost. So LA Knight's still your $1 million chance to become LA Knight's new butler. Along with, as mentioned, the interviews and the promos we saw backstage, we had a return of Tegan Knox, as she was the mystery charger in the most recent charging vignettes, from 0 to 11, 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, 71, 81, 91, and it began at 91 earlier tonight, and then it was 99 as the lights went out during the NXT Women's Tag Team title matchup with The Way and Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell taking on Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. Lights went out. Tegan came out after the matchup, after Io and Zoe defeated Candice and Indy. It seems to me with Tegan chasing down and attacking Candice post-match, that'll be a feud. Toni Storm's going to get Raquel Gonzalez at some point, that looks like, along with Kushida and Roderick Strong, and then Cross and Gargano next week as well. Dexter came out and picked up Indy and carried her to the back, so they're going to continue that romance storyline, it seems like. So whether the Way's being split up or not, I don't know. Austin Theory's going to have something to say, especially if Gargano wins the NXT Championship from Karrion Kross. But then, as mentioned too, Ciampa and Thatcher could finally break up. Ciampa's going to want Goldie back too, so there's a slew of different options, they could go with moving forward. But in tonight's main event, it was in fact Adam Cole getting revenge and defeating Kyle O'Reilly just moments ago to close out NXT Great American Bash, as O'Reilly defeated him at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver during WrestleMania weekend. Tonight, 2 days after the 4th of July 2021, shout out to the United States of America. Tonight, NXT Great American Bash, Cole gets revenge. Now they're tied at 1. So, like I said, grudge match potentially next month during the next TakeOver. Yeah, probably. That's probably the road they're going to take, which I'll be all for. I think everybody, should be. It'll probably be the co-main event, though. Maybe not, though, because it did main event, because it was on Shanks, during TakeOver Stand and Deliver a few months ago. So, it's all just going to depend on, of course, what other matches on the card, but, normally an NXT Championship match main events, 9 times out of 10, depending on, what other matches are on the card, though, as mentioned. So, yeah, Cole defeated O'Reilly just a little bit ago now, and they hit the closing credits, faded to black, and close out the show. But next week on NXT, it'll be Cross and Gargano for the NXT title. We'll see what happens in that, as Samoa Joe will be the special guest ref. Also next week, the new Breakout tournament will begin for NXT, as they announced the 8 competitors in that earlier tonight as well. So, yeah, I totally forgot about that until I just said it just a few seconds ago now. So, yeah, a lot happened. A lot went down this evening. Very, very good episode of NXT. It was a TV special. It was Great American Bash. NXT next week probably won't be as good, but they'll still have a championship match. Maybe another. Maybe even, add 2 more to it and have the 3 once again next week like they did tonight. But then maybe 1 next week, 1 the following week, and then the 1 the week after that. Just to continue these stories and long-term book it. Get from now until the next TakeOver. Get until, the WWE draft with, losing some NXT guys probably. On who they'll be, we'll see. Cross, Cole, and so on and so forth. But probably a few others too. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. But NXT was damn good tonight. And, credit, yeah, it was a TV special. It was Great American Bash. But they got accomplished what they wanted to get done. So that's really all that matters when, the day is done. And, future's bright, as I always like to say, they'll move on with this breakout tournament beginning. 8-man tourney. I would assume the finals to that will be during the next takeover as well. Maybe even, before that. I don't know. We'll see. Along with, potentially in the meantime, I doubt it though, just with, 6 weeks around there until takeover. Maybe another TV special. I highly doubt it. If anything, it'll be after that. Maybe like another Super Tuesday as they did last year. But at that point in time, they're still on Wednesdays, so they can't really do that now. Yes, but they'd have to find something else to do, figure something else out. Because then, as I was saying earlier, the next takeover after the upcoming takeover will be late September, early October, and then into War Games, which will be around Survivor Series, Thanksgiving time, or right before Christmas. So, hey, it's July. Hard to believe July 4th's in the rear view now. We're on to the return of live fans. We're on to the return of being able to actually go to these events live in living color, live in person. We're going to be on the road to SummerSlam, on the road to All Out. Football season's here, then it's Thanksgiving, then it's Christmas, then it's New Year's, and then WrestleMania 38. So, and then we'll be sitting here again next year for the next Great American Bash. And hopefully they bring it back because, like I said, I get, okay, back-to-back years, they've had it, 2 years running now, but NXT's been bringing back a lot of older events, whether that's Great American Bash, Halloween Havoc in your house, so on and so forth. Listen them along with, other, as mentioned earlier, whether you want to call them gimmicks or props, or the case may be, like the $1 Million titles back, just for instance, as an example. So, it'll be interesting to see, what happens moving forward here on NXT on Tuesday nights from now until the next takeover. Breakout tournament begins next week, as mentioned. I'm sure they'll announce a few more matches for that episode by the end of the week, as they always do. But we'll have one more Thunderdome episode of SmackDown. We'll have one more Thunderdome episode of Raw. And then a week from Friday, they'll be in Houston, Texas for Friday Night SmackDown, the return of live fans. Money in the Bank that Sunday in Fort Worth, of live reactions, play of both shows, along with Monday Night Raw the following night, as they'll be in the Big D, Dallas, Texas. So hitting the Lone Star State Friday, Sunday, Monday. But also, hopefully you'll tune in tomorrow night as AEW hits the road, AEW Dynamite Road Rager. They'll be in South Beach, Miami, Florida. So live, watch along reactions live right here on YouTube. Then, with AEW Dynamite Road Rager tomorrow night. So schedule is AEW tomorrow night, AEW next Wednesday for night one of Fyter Fest, as they'll also be hitting the Lone Star State of Texas, as they'll be in Austin and Dallas for the 2-night, 2-week event for Fyter Fest. So yes, tomorrow night, AEW, hopefully you'll tune in. Then next week, AEW on Wednesday, SmackDown on Friday, following Sunday, Money in the Bank. Next night, Monday Night Raw, that Wednesday, AEW again. And then as mentioned, I'll be attending a few events myself for a few different companies, few different promotions, wink wink, so keep an eye out for videos. Fight for the Fallen is July the 28th as well. And then SummerSlam weekend will be here before we know it. SummerSlam is, in fact, August the 21st. So actually the night before, we'll have live watch-along reactions as well of Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage, the second ever AEW Rampage, because, well, yours truly will be at the first. So, as mentioned, keep an eye out for videos from both the WWE and AEW from myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96, attending live in living color. And hopefully we'll tune back in for more live watch-along reactions as well. But, yeah, that'll be August the 20th then. SmackDown and Rampage. Then that Saturday night, it'll be SummerSlam. That Sunday night, it'll be the next NXT TakeOver, and then that Monday Night Raw as well. And maybe a live stream or two of something else with football season beginning. We'll see. And then I know I've said, keep an eye out for some football videos from just the past few months as well before the season begins. But one of those two might be put on the back burner for now until a later date. But I'm going to try to get the other one out, of course, still in time for football season. But then, as mentioned, keep an eye out for videos from the upcoming events that I'll be attending from the WWE and AEW here over the next month or so, as the return of live fans is upon us, as this past 15, 16 months now of all virtual. Well, at first it wasn't even virtual for WWE Thunderdome. That's not even a year old. That'll be a year old come SummerSlam, but at that point in time, they'll, of course, have already hit the road once more. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a whirlwind of a, year and a half, but it's good to see, of course, everything's getting back to normal, and, we can once more, again, actually go to these events. So, like I said, thanks for tuning in once more this evening and watching, and keeping out for upcoming videos right here on the channel. All you have to do is links in the description below. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Thumbs up button, share once more, and hopefully tune in tomorrow night as well for AEW Dynamite Road Rager, as they'll be in South Beach, Miami, Florida. We'll have a preview for that, as of course we get started tomorrow night around the same time, between 7:30 and 8, as always. But yeah, once more, thank you for tuning in and watching my WWE NXT Great American Bash live watch-along reactions with me this evening. So that'll do it for myself, your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below, and hope to see everybody now tomorrow night for AEW Dynamite. Or wait, is it called AEW Dynamite still, or is it now WWE Dynamite, JR Jim Ross? We'll see tomorrow night. But yeah, thanks for tuning in tonight. All jokes aside, hopefully tune in tomorrow night for AEW Dynamite Road Rager live right here on YouTube.